Hello, my name's Stephen, and this is Faith Ministries. Today, we're moving back to the word for word or formal equivalent area of Bible translations. And the Bible we're looking at today is called the Lexham English Bible, the LEB, Lexham English Bible. So let's just get right into it. Okay, if we go to the English Bible translation comparison again, where we go from the word for word and then thought for thought, over here on the left-hand side, we have one of the most literal things of the Interlinear, but next to it, we have the Lexham English Bible. So it is further to the left, further to being more word for word, more literal in how it has been translated than even the well-recognized New American Standard Bible or the Modern English Version and the Amplified here. So that is the Lexham English Bible. So like me, you may be wondering, where did the name Lexham come from? Well, if you go to the lexhampress.com website, you see here called The Origin of Lexham. And in the county of Norfolk, there is a village called East Lexham. And there is a little church called St. Andrew's, which is speculated that it was built around the 900 AD. So it's been around a long time. And the towers were built a few centuries later. And that is a picture of it there. And they say that down the bottom here, that the reason why they use this particular symbol over here on their as a logo is that they are representing the commitment to publishing works grounded in the ancient and foundational truths of the Bible for the sake of the church. And so they see this church has been around a long time and the basis of Christian faith. And so that is the symbol that they are using to get the word Lexham from. So here on the page of Got Questions, they answer, give a good description as to what is the Lexham Bible, what is it about? And it says here that it was published by Logos Bible Software in 2012. And at the time of recording of this video, it is only available in electronic format. You cannot go to your bookshop and buy one. And so it is free as part of the Logos software package, but also a translation option on the BibleGateway.com. The method they use to actually do the translation is that the basis of the text of the Lexham English Bible is the Lexham Hebrew English Interlinear Old Testament and the Lexham Greek English Interlinear New Testament, which they did a few years earlier. So the LEB uses the formal equivalence method of translation, resulting in quite a literal rendering. Reviewers have gauged the Lexham English Bible as being slightly more literal than the New American Standard, which we just saw a moment ago. Publishers of the LEB have strived to be as transparent as possible in the translation process, providing interlinear versions that keep the Greek and the Hebrew words in their original order, as well as provide root words and define each word contextually and non-textually. In this way, the whole process of translation can be observed. To make the literal text more readable, the LEB uses italics to identify English words that are inferred but not included in the original text, and brackets for idiomatic expressions that are difficult to translate literally. The interlinear texts themselves were taken from the Biblia Hebraic Stuttgartensia, primarily taken from the Masoretic text, and the Greek New Testament, and the Nestle Aland 27th edition of the Greek New Testament, etc. So let's have a quick look at a comparison between the Lexham English Bible and the New American Standard Bible and the Modern English Version. Here we see in John 1 to 5, that the Lexham LEB, it says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This one was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him not one thing came into being that has come into being. In him was life, and the life was the light of humanity. And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it." So how does that compare to the New American Standard Bible? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So very, very familiar, very similar. Verse 2, he was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and apart from him, nothing came into being that has come into being. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. And then in the modern English version, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were created through him, and without him nothing was created that was created. In him was life, and the life was the light of mankind. The light shines in darkness, but the darkness has not overcome it. And so in some ways, the modern English version has used the same word here, did not overcome it, whereas the New American did not comprehend it. But overall, very, very similar. And just as curiosity, Psalm 23, the first 3 verses, the LEB says Yahweh. Aha, there is a difference. So we have in the Old Testament, we have the Lexham Bible using the name of God as being, or Lord as being Yahweh, which is some of the other versions have been doing too lately. So Yahweh is my shepherd. I will not lack for anything. In grassy pastures, he makes me lie down. By waters, he leads me. He restores my life. He leads me in correct paths for the sake of his name. New American Standard Bible, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And so we have very similar. One of the most striking differences was there was the use of Yahweh, as I said a moment before. Leads me in correct paths, whereas the NASB guides me in paths of righteousness. On the website called thingsabouteus.us, they give a rather detailed look at some of the words used in the Lexham English Bible. And they have selected certain words which they call lemma, which is a dictionary word rather than being a root word, because they find that certain translations change or use a particular translation or use a particular meaning the same all the way through their translation, whereas others seem to chop and change as to the meanings. So here you can see the Greek word doulos. It can have a meaning of being slave or bondservant or being a servant. In the Lexham English Bible, all the way through the Greek area by New Testament, they have gone with slave or slaves. And I believe there's only one occasion where they have made reference to a particular male slave. Whereas doulos in the New American Standard Bible, 1995 version, it's roughly 75% has been slave. And then you have a smattering of bondservant, bonds, slaves, served slaves, etc., and servants. Whereas the NIV 2011 edition, similar, also you have it broken up here. So you can see that the LEB is very consistent in using slave or slaves for the Greek word doulos. If we have a look at the word adelphos, the Greek word adelphos, which means brother, brethren, brothers and sisters, the LEB, basically the whole time through the New Testament where it has occurred, they've used brothers and brothers, or brother. The New American Standard Bible, on comparison, is almost just over 50% have gone with brethren. And as you can see in the red part here, the rest of it has gone with brother and brothers. Whereas the NIV, they have used a lot more of the brothers, but then they have a lot more subsections of believers and fellow Israelites and fellow believers and man and followers, etc. So again, as far as being literal, the LEB have been very consistent in translating adelphos as brother all the way through the New Testament. If you download the Logos software, which I did, you can then open the Lexham English Bible, and this is basically how you see it. You can also do it on your phone, which I'll show you in a moment. But the English Lexham Bible, 4th edition, and they give the various editors, the translators, when it was released, the different licensing, etc., trademarks, and then all the clickable, the different books of the Bible, etc. And then you come down to, basically, they look through the acknowledgements and how we did it, and you can read like a normal Bible. As I said before, it is electronic and not in a paper version. And so we have, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and now the earth was formless and empty, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And you notice here that they have a little A next to the now, and they have it pops up as and. So in other words, and the earth was formless and empty, but they went for now. And there's other ones around as well. And so that just that's just how they have set out the Bible. So we can go back to the book of Luke, for example, and it opens up. They give a preface to it, and it says, since many have attempted to compile an account concerning the events that are fulfilled among us, etc., etc. And so if you want to read through the Bible in the Lexham English Bible, it is a great thing to have as far as using the classic Logos software. So if you install the LEB onto your phone, Logos software, etc., you end up with, as you see here on the screen, all the books of the Bible that you can scroll through, and you can open them up, for example, in Psalms. You can choose Psalm 1, for example, and you can even choose night reading mode where it changes it into white on black, or you can go back to that. You can just read through that. You can scroll through it like normal. If we go back to the Bible selection and we go to the end of the New Testament, we find that there are various letters. And you're thinking, what's that mean? Well, if you open the word letter A, you see that suddenly we have like a glossary where we have a book, click on Aaron, and it gives information about who Aaron was. And so we can go down, we can click on Abigail, and it too pops up with an explanation as to who Abigail was. So it's quite a resourceful little thing. And so we go back to letter A, we can go to the top, back again up there. We can open up that. We have favorites. You can remove ads, in other words, by paying a little bit of money towards it. You can rate the app, etc. So that is the mobile app on your phone. So that is a brief look at the Lexham English Bible, the LEB. And as you can see, it is very much towards the formal equivalence or the word for word type of Bible. And a lot of reviewers have, which I tend to agree with, have put it as around the area of the New American Standard Bible as being a very literal type of Bible in taking it. And it's interesting that they've built this Bible upon their previous history of an interlinear Greek and interlinear Hebrew Bibles that they put together under the Lexham name. And they've produced this Bible, which is quite easy to read, and it's not disjointed like a lot of the more literal Bibles are, but it reads quite well. So in the comments below, tell us what you think about the Lexham English Bible. Do you use the LEB? Is it part of what's on your library? Well, you can't have it on your library, can you? Because it's only digital, but it is a part of what you use day by day or in your studies, etc. An interesting Bible to have a look at for a good study Bible as to what is actually being said in the Greek and in the Hebrew in the scriptures. So once again, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, God bless.